School District is excited that you have joined us today as we honor the contributions of all the veterans of our great nation. Veterans Day, formerly known as Armistice Day, was originally established as a legal holiday to honor the end of World War I, which officially took place on November 11, 1918, signed on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. In 1954, the U.S. Congress, urging of the Veterans Service Organization, amended the original act by striking out the word armistice and replacing it with veterans. With the approval of legislation on June 1st, 1954, November 11th, or the 11th day of the 11th month, became a day to honor all American veterans through the ages.
At this time, the colors will be presented by our local VFW. Following the presentation of colors, students from Greene County Primary School will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The Greene County Band will share their rendition of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, followed by our morning's invocation shared by FCA member Noah Wright. Please stand and remain standing until the color has left the floor.
Morning. I'm so thankful for having this opportunity to share this with you fine people this morning. It's such a glorious day for these fine people who serve and protect our United States of America and serve our country. This morning, I'm going to leave a little bit of scripture. I'm going to be in John chapter 15, verses 12 and 13. This is my commitment that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this than to lay down one life for his friends. So what this verse is talking about, it's like that same thing that's like loving your neighbor as one another or loving yourself. And this verse is talking about this Veterans Day is where we gather and we have our heroes and our military families and the people who serve in the United States of America and protect our country and our great nation. And under God, God the Father, He's a great guy. If y'all go to church, well, just remember that God is good. And He always will, because, like they say, in God we trust. I'm going to begin doing a prayer with y'all. Here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this day today, dear God, dear Lord. I just thank you for the opportunity to let me do this with these fine group of people that is here today and standing with me right now, dear Lord. I thank you for all these people who are our militaries, our armies, our navy, or anything they do in this country for us, dear Lord. I just thank you for them having the opportunity to fight to keep our country safe and everything else. I just thank you for having the opportunity to let everyone come out again today and just be with the people again who serve and protect and fight for our freedom and our great nation of this country, dear Lord. Thank you for letting them keep it safe for us. You just keep on being with us and leading, guide, and direct us as we go for the rest of our year and the rest of our day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. Please be seated.
When America was in an urgent need, these brave ones raised a hand. No hesitation held them back. They are proud to take a stand.
While we were at home, they traveled land and sea to make sure we stayed safe, to protect and keep us free.
Words are not enough to give them what they're due. This Veterans Day we thank them for the service in the Union.
So here's to our country's heroes, that are cut above the rest. Let's give honor that is due to our country's very best.
Let us swear
welcome our local veterans, especially the members of the James L. Pruitt Post 5813, Veterans of Foreign Wars and its auxiliary. Also, we're happy to recognize members of our student body who are winners in the Voice of Democracy and Patriots in Essay Contest, sponsored by the Veterans of Foreign Wars organization. At this time, I would like to welcome Army veteran, retired teacher, school administrator, and member of Post 5813, Ms. Maxine Pruitt, to the podium for the presentation of awards.
Good to be with you again on the Booksville Veterans Day. On behalf of the James L. Pruitt Veterans of Foreign Wars Post, I'd like to say to the veterans here, thank you for your service. And to the family members of the veterans, thank you also for your support. Will the veterans and their families please stand? And this includes school personnel and students as well. So will you stand, veterans, family members? Is to recognize winners in the Voice of Democracy and the Patriots Pen essay program sponsored by the Veterans of Foreign Wars. The James L. Pruitt Post 5813 is the local sponsor. The Patriots Pen essay program is for students in grades 6 through 8, and we will start with the Patriots Pen Awards. We have checks for the third and second place winners, and we would like for the first place winner to also read her essay, and she will have a check. District 8 Auxiliary President Sharon Curry, please come forward and present a check to the third place winner.
On behalf of the auxiliary of James L. Pruitt Post 5813, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your service, past and present. Living deceased, we've all been affected by our Veterans of Foreign War and our United States veterans also, everyone that has served. At this time, I'd like to present the Patriots Pen third place winner. This is on behalf of the James L. Pruitt Auxiliary. The winner of the third place would be Kaylee Young.
Since our commander is with the color guard, I will present the check to the second place winner. Cameron Jackson, please come forward. I also have a check for Eva Edberg. Eva, please come forward to receive your check and read your winning essay.
Why I honor the American flag. When asked why I honor the American flag, the response I give is never changing. The colors you all see when you look at that Star-Spangled Banner is all the reason I need to uphold a tradition of honor originating from before a nation was called just that. Red, a color often associated with romance and love, symbolizes the blood from our soldiers shed for the idea of freedom and democracy. From the blood we shed emerged a country built by hardship and war. That country is now ranked among the colors of the best in the world. Red also embodies the idea of hardiness. Our country has clawed its way to our top, but it was not without hardship. We have endured a split into our very foundation, 2 wars that threatened the well-being of the entire world, and a civil rights movement that quite nearly toppled the united title from our name. That red, the first color we think of when we think of America, is there because of the men and women who fought for us in times of peril. Unity comes from the white flag. Our flag, through wars, through terror, through controversy, still stands as a symbol for us all. I honor that flag because of the people who have carried it through thick and thin, never letting it fall to the ground. White was chosen by our forefathers as the color of the flag so that every person who looked up at those stars and stripes would be reminded of the unity that combines people from all origins and ethnicities. Our flag might be red, white, and blue, but our nation is a rainbow, red, yellow, brown, black, and brown. And we're all precious in God's sight. Jesse Jackson. Our country still stands strong, unwavered, together, in the tides of change sweeping the world. I honor the blue because of the justice and perseverance it represents. Though it may not seem like it now, our country is just and fair. The United States is constantly working towards a goal of justice for the dead, dishonored, and disgraced. This nation is still working to get to our best condition, but slowly and surely, we are getting there. That belief gives us hope for the future. I honor the flag because of the colors woven into it for our beliefs. Why do you?
The Voice of Democracy audio essay program is for students in grades 9 through 12. And again, Sharon Curry will present the third place award.
James L. Pruitt Auxiliary, third place Voice of Democracy winner this year is Gracie Thompson.
I have the check for the second place winner, Andrea Patton. I have a check for the first place winner, Bendy Fortune.
Why my vote matters. I have always been a firm believer in the power of one. One word can resolve a disagreement. One smile can make someone stay. One thought can spark the next medical advancement or cure for a disease. One is often looked at as small and unimportant, but it can make all the difference. One vote can decide the fate of our country. Voting is one of the most crucial aspects concerning America's past and future. For years, people have voiced their opinions to shape the country we live in today. The dictionary defines voting as a formal indication of a choice between two or more candidates or courses of action. We as American citizens have the right to choose. We have the right to let our voice be heard. We have the right to make a difference. Unfortunately, there was a time when not everyone was extended this freedom. Our country has endured many trials, including discrimination of gender and race. In America's early years, white men who owned property were the only citizens enfranchised. This left women, people of color, and financially underprivileged residents without a right to voice their opinion. After years of oppression, these groups began to speak out about their injustices. They rallied together to be the voice of suffrage. Although it took time, their faith did not waver. In 1870, the 15th Amendment, which allowed African American males the right to vote, was signed. 50 years later, women were granted this same honor with the 19th Amendment. As I think about my future as a voter, I am so grateful for the brave men and women who fought for not only their voices, but the voices of all Americans for generations to come. Although voting is a right that all American citizens now possess, its price is not free. More than 1 million men and women are serving in the U.S. Armed Forces to protect our freedom. They have spent sleepless nights away from family and friends with a lifetime of heartache many will never understand. They risk their own lives to protect our right to not only vote, but our freedom of speech, religion, press, and much more. Their eyes have seen the injustices of other governments, which empower them to continue the fight for the freedoms we regularly enjoy. Being able to live in America, where we have the right to vote, is such a blessing. I realize this even more now since visiting a foreign country. Last summer, my family, friends, and I went on a mission trip to Haiti. The people of Haiti are governed much differently than we in America and have very little say in their day-to-day lives. It is difficult to imagine living in a country where there is injustice all around, but you have no voice to speak up. The people are in a constant state of chaos and desperation. While voting may seem small and insignificant, it is one of our most important liberties and duties as an American citizen. Seymour Boland once stated, "Throughout history, it has been the actions of only one person who has inspired the movement of change." In closing, I would like to remind you that there are still voices in the U.S. that cannot express their vote. While this prompt is thought-provoking, I personally, nor can anyone under the age of 18, truly understand the significance of voting. You ask me why my vote matters, and my answer is simple. One day, my vote will matter, but today, it is your one vote that is vitally important. I challenge you to consider the importance of letting your voice be heard. Cast your vote, be the one.
Years ago, Mindy Pumpkin stood in this same place as a Patriots fan. She went up, she won the district, she won the state, she won first place in the national competition. And she collected quite a bit of money on the way to the top. So we're hoping the best for her again this year, step by step. We offer our congratulations to all six winners, and the essays for the two first place winners looking forward to district state competition. And from there, if they win, we feel confident they will, they were born to stay. We want to thank the teachers and administrators who assisted the students with essays, and the middle and high school retired teachers who served as judges. Without your help, we couldn't have offered this opportunity to the students. Thank you so much for including us today.
work for my life. And I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today. Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad they stand up next to you, defenders still today. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes in Minnesota to the hills in Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, and from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, from New York to LA. There's a pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad they stand up next to you when the defenders still lay. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'm glad they stand up next to you when the defenders still day. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
veterans from our area have served in every branch of the armed forces, and we would like to honor those in attendance for your service.
The following presentation features the official service songs from each branch of the U.S. military. We would like to ask each veteran to stand when the song is played to allow us to show our appreciation. displaying the seals of each military branch on our stage today, we are also displaying the national symbol for prisoners of war and missing in action. The prisoners of war and missing in action flag features a silhouette of a POW before a guard tower and barbed wire in white on a black field. POW MIA appears above the silhouette and the words, "You are not forgotten," appear below in white on the black field.
This black and white flag stands as a stark reminder of Americans still prisoners, missing or otherwise unaccounted for in Southeast Asia, and is now accepted nationally and internationally as a symbol of remembrance for all prisoners of war and those servicemen and women missing in action. Please join us in a moment of silence to honor this. Thank you.
The origin of taps, the distinctive bugle melody played in U.S. military funerals and memorials, and as a lights-out signal to soldiers at night, date back to the American Civil War. In July 1862, U.S. General Daniel Butterfield and his brigade were camped at Harrison's Landing, Virginia, recuperating after the 7 days battle near Richmond. Dissatisfied with the standard bugle call employed by the Army to indicate to troops it was time to go to sleep, and thinking the call should sound more melodious, Butterfield reworked an existing bugle call used to signal the end of the day. After he had his brigade bugler, Private Oliver Wilcox Norton, play it for the men, buglers from other units became interested in the 24-note tune and it quickly spread throughout the Army, and even caught on with the Confederates. Not long after Butterfield created taps, it was played for the first time at a military funeral where a Union cannoneer killed in action. As for the name taps, the most likely explanation is that it comes from the fact that prior to Butterfield's bugle call, the lights-out call was followed by 3 drum beats dubbed the drum taps, as well as the taps and then simply taps. When Butterfield's call replaced the drum beats, soldiers referred to it as taps, although this was an unofficial moniker according to taps historian and bugle expert Jerry Villanova. He notes that Butterfield's bugle call was officially known as extinguished lights in American military manuals until 1891. Since that time, taps also has been a formally recognized part of U.S. military. At this time, please remain standing as we retire the colors. Veterans, thank you for your service. If it were not for you and your bravery, we would be living in a very different world today. We hope that you continue to honor our veterans even after this ceremony. Thank you again for your attendance with us here today. It's been our goal to honor our veterans while also educating our students about the contributions that each of you have made to our country. At this time, we will ask principals from each building to assist their students with exit procedures. We will start with students from the intermediate and primary school. Middle school and high school students, please remain seated until further notice. Thank you and have a blessed day.